All right, guys, let's talk the East. Potentially dramatic YouTube title, but also looks a bit different from the last time I talked about it. My Celtics have gone up. The Magic have figured things out, at least before this Franz injury. Jaden Ivey is back for the Pistons. The Knicks are doing things that interest me on defense. The Raptors really need RJ. Okay, we're going to start with my Celtics. I'm sure by now everybody knows the big stuff. JB, mid-range god, Jordan Walsh, defensive demon, who is also making teams pay for not guarding him now, or at least enough. Keita has saved the center rotation at least as much as he can. Minot's a Swiss Army knife. D. White's making shots again. And a solid amount of them are still the tough jumpers. I would like to point out that this team has flipped in the clutch. So the first whatever games of the year, they were one of the worst clutch teams in the league. And lately, they've found a way in these close games late. I mean, against the Knicks, late in that game when Mazzulla went small, it made Cat guard Walsh, a.k.a. he's ignoring Jordan Walsh. And whether he's getting open on the back line for a putback or like they put two to the ball on Jalen and then it's Walsh able to attack on a drive when they're just ignoring him. And then defensively, while the Knicks went mostly off in that fourth, they had like 40-something points. Jordan Walsh had one great help defense play on Brunson. Hauser held up well on one play when Brunson was trying to go at him. Little stuff. In the win versus the Raptors, bro, Peyton Pritchard and D. White, oh my goodness, the 4 threes they hit in that fourth quarter. D. White, like one he has to spin around, and then the other one's like a 30-footer over Pirtle. And then there was the win against the Pistons, which was the win that was really like, the energy has shifted, if I can steal a saying from Jalen. I mean, some of it was JB hunting like Duncan Robinson or going at LeVert, just being physical or being physical on Duran on drives, but also they were overhelping on JB. D. White's making threes. D. White had a couple of very tough ones off the dribble again. Like, it's all coming together for this team right now. And I do think a really subtle thing is that in most games, it's like Keita, Walsh, Minot. Even if they don't take a lot of shots, they're all really efficient with the shots they do take. So that's all good. Also, Jordan Walsh and Derek White forcing that turnover on Cade with like 17 seconds left. Huge play, massive play, loved it. Oh, and thank you, Cade, for missing that free throw. And so now the big convos within Celtics internet, I guess, are, could Tatum really come back this year? And can they get another center? There was already the thing with them and Zubac. Hey, if the Clippers decide that they want to rebuild, even if OKC has their pick, I will gladly take Zubac. You all know that. And as far as the Tatum stuff, I mean, I've just kept on assuming that he's not going to play this year, but we've all seen the clips of him in practice. I'm sure by now we all know that he got the surgery way faster than guys normally get it. And apparently that could make a big difference. I mean, I don't want to have unrealistic expectations, but we'll just see. Next up, let's go to the Pistons. Still the 1 seed, still really good. Knicks are 2 games back. Let's talk Duran and Ivey. Because, I mean, the scoring around Cade, Convo, has always been a thing with this team. It's going to continue to be, but now it's just bigger because could they make the finals? Like, these are the Convos we have now. Duran's scoring has been a little down lately compared to his super hot start. And my most recent reference for these guys is the Celtics game. So, the Celtics, I mean, Keita was out of that game, so he had guards on him for a little bit, and then Amari Williams, and it was small lineups. You would think that'd be the game where Duran could really go off. The Celtics were packing the paint like crazy. They were fronting, like Jalen would front the post on him, or they would just throw a lot of bodies at him. He made some nice passes around it, but in general, he just didn't have a great scoring game. He also had a couple of opportunities to challenge like Amari Williams or Garza in 1v1s, and he passed it up, one of which became a turnover because it was a pretty lazy pass. And this is just one game in the middle of December. This is not some like anti-Jalen Duran thing. It's more so just to say having a dominant game versus the 3 seed missing their starting center would have been nice. For them, not for me. I loved that game personally. And then as far as Jaden Ivey, who's now had a few games, I mean, the threes have been really good. That's maybe the most optimistic thing so far. As far as the working off the dribble, attacking, I mean, it's kind of normal Jaden Ivey stuff, just on a lower minute and shot attempts thing right now. Sometimes he's driving into traffic, he pulls off a great finish. Sometimes he just takes on more than he really should. You like the aggressiveness, and also, if he's going to do that, he's got to be efficient at it. The assist to turnover stuff is pretty much neutral. You can do with that whatever you will. I do think there's kind of a convo between like how much do you want him leading like second units when Cade's not in the game versus you want him as more of an off guard who's playing with Cade or with Dennis Jenkins. But Jenkins' minutes have been down a little bit lately. It feels like you want Ivey out there with a point guard, but the big thing right now is him just getting a whole bunch of games healthy and just getting comfortable again. As far as a trade, they don't have to trade for Markkanen, but I do think they need more shooting. And in a perfect world, they can do that without introducing someone into the rotation that they have to cover for on defense. Unless that guy is like super high-end offensive player, which would then go back to Markkanen. I don't know. We'll see what they do. Next up, let's go to the Knicks. So The Knicks have been winning lately, besides losing to my Celtics. I appreciated that one. They've been doing some things on defense. They're kind of lingering around a top 10 defense. OG missed some games. Mitch only plays like 16, 17 minutes a game or whatever it is. But it feels like, now I haven't been able to watch every single one, but to have McHale and OG sometimes, you can't do this all the time, but sometimes, be like more of off-ball help defenders. Also having Cat a little more aggressive on screens, like higher up rather than just drop coverage, asking him to be a rim protector. And it's all been interesting. I don't know if I should be as caught up with it as I am, but I am. Also, Josh Hart's been making shots. But, like, for example, like in their Magic game they just had where, like, Josh Hart is on Paolo, and then OG is helping off of Suggs. And, you know, Suggs does stuff with the ball, too, so that still puts OG in an on-ball thing, which obviously he's great at. And you got plays where, like, 4 Knicks are surrounding Paolo on drives, or OG is just everywhere defensively. Like, he had this one wild play of, like, help defense and then getting back to Suggs. It was crazy. In the Bucks win, so the Bucks made like a lot of threes in that game, but in the last 5 minutes, it was just Giannis trying to go at Josh Hart in one-on-ones, and the Knicks were bringing help, but they weren't just hard doubling. It was like, we're going to help enough to bait the pass out of Giannis, and we're going to trust that our closeouts are good enough, and besides one Kuzma 3, they were pretty much right, besides what Giannis would just score on Josh Hart. And then in the Raptor game, you'd have like Cat high on an Ingram screen, and then McHale and OG are packing the paint, or McHale is blocking Scotty as a helper. You get it. There's something happening with their defense. I do think some of it just comes down to, do teams make threes or not, because they are allowing among the most three-point attempts in the league. So we'll see. There's something there. Next up, the Magic, who have climbed out of that early season hole. Paolo missed some time. Franz is out, but it was not as bad as it looked with the injury. First thing I'll point out is it does feel like defensively they got back to who they are. I mean, they're now a top 10 defense. And, you know, one of those Miami games I was watching, with the way Miami just doesn't run screens on the ball, Orlando just held up really well one-on-one. And what I remember the most was Franz like stonewalling Jaquez on drives, or Da Silva staying strong on Davion, or in the Pistons game where they forced 24 turnovers. Like, dude, Jalen Suggs and Anthony Black were just such pests in that game. I mean, Suggs missed a million shots, and even so, like, anytime those two wanted to hard rotate into the paint or get into passing lanes, like, nothing was safe for the Pistons in that game. Speaking of Suggs, it turns out they need him. Who would have thought? Also, I know that he doesn't pop off every game as a scorer, but I swear, man, he will pull off like 2 or 3 plays a game where he will put like real moves together or get around a screen or make a tough jumper where I'm just like, are we sure this dude isn't secretly like a high teens scorer at the least? He's like 15 a game right now. He had an unbelievable third quarter in one of these recent games. Besides that, Franz is still a battering ram going to the rim. His 3-ball still looks weird, but it's better this season. Bane finally had some pop-off games. Still don't know why he threw the ball at OG. Love whenever they just get Bane moving around, go screening, etc. And hopefully we will just get an extended look at Franz and Paolo together, because we didn't get it for a little while there. Yeah, I know there's this whole like anti-Paolo belief on the internet. He can't be a winning player, etc. He definitely takes a few shots a game that I don't like, and sometimes might idle with the ball a little too much, but he's got to do a lot with Franz out now for some amount of time. The last one before we get out of here, the Raptors. Feel a little bad that as things were going well, the only nice thing I had to say about them was that Mamu was awesome, which, yeah, Mamu was awesome, but, you know, Scotty could make an all-defense team this year for his off-ball defense. Ingram, I felt like, what I noticed the most was it seemed like he was just being a little faster with the ball, like not idling as much with it. Quickly got over his early season efficiency stuff, and now the only thing to talk about is that apparently it doesn't matter if RJ's not in the game. I mean, this team, since RJ went down, this team has not hit 100 points 3 different times. Wait, that's not true. It's only twice. They hit 101 against the Knicks. My bad. I don't know. Shout out RJ.